You could feel perfectly fine, no pain, no discomfort, until suddenly you're not. That's the terrifying truth about clogged arteries. They don't shout, they whisper, and when they finally speak up, it's often through a heart attack or stroke. Every year, millions face these silent threats without ever seeing them coming. But what if your body was trying to warn you? Not with loud alarms, but with subtle signs. Strange feelings, odd symptoms, things most people ignore. Today, we're uncovering 9 of those warning signals your body might be giving you right now. Recognize them early, and you could be saving your life. Miss them, and you might not get a second chance. Before we dive in, make sure to hit subscribe. Your heart might be trying to warn you, and what you learn today could literally save a life. Let's get into it. 1. Chest pressure or discomfort. The classic signal, hiding in plain sight. It's the most well-known symptom of heart trouble, yet it's also one of the most misunderstood. Chest pain, or more accurately, chest discomfort, often shows up not as a sharp pain, but as a strange pressure. Some describe it as a squeezing, tightness, or even a burning sensation. And here's the catch. It doesn't always feel like it's coming from your heart. Sometimes it spreads to the shoulders, jaw, arms, or back, making it easy to mistake for muscle strain or heartburn. But what's actually happening inside your body is far more serious. When plaque builds up in your coronary arteries, it narrows the passageways meant to carry blood to your heart. During stress or physical activity, your heart demands more oxygen, but those narrowed arteries just can't deliver enough. The result? Your heart muscle cries out in pain. That's what we call angina, a warning shot that your heart isn't getting what it needs. What makes this symptom so dangerous is how easily people brush it off. They think it's indigestion or that it will just go away. But chest discomfort that appears with activity and fades with rest? That's not something to ignore. It's your body's way of begging you to pay attention before it's too late. 2. Shortness of breath. When every step feels like a struggle. You're walking up the stairs, something you've done 100 times. But this time, you're gasping for air. It's not just fatigue. It's not just getting older. It could be a sign your heart is struggling to keep up. When arteries become clogged, the heart has to work harder to pump blood through narrowed vessels. That means less oxygen gets to your muscles, your brain, and even your lungs. The result? You feel winded, even during mild activities. But it doesn't stop there. In more advanced cases, shortness of breath shows up at rest. Some people wake up in the middle of the night gasping, feeling like they can't breathe unless they sit upright. That's not normal, and it's not something to ignore. This breathlessness happens because the heart isn't circulating enough oxygen-rich blood to meet your body's needs. In response, your brain sends out a panic signal. Breathe faster, breathe deeper. But no matter how hard you try, you still feel starved of air. Shortness of breath is one of those symptoms people chalk up to being out of shape. But if it's new, getting worse, or happening during normal tasks, your body could be waving a red flag. Don't dismiss it. Your heart might be working overtime and losing the fight. 3. Fatigue, the kind of tired sleep doesn't fix. We all feel tired now and then, but this is different. This kind of fatigue seeps into your bones. It lingers no matter how much you sleep or how many coffees you drink. It's not laziness. It's not burnout. It might be your heart. When your arteries are clogged, blood flow becomes restricted. That means your muscles, brain, and vital organs aren't getting the oxygen and nutrients they need. So your body does what it must. It powers down. It starts conserving energy, prioritizing the essentials, and shutting down everything else. The result? You feel like you're running on empty all the time. People often blame this kind of exhaustion on age, stress, or lack of sleep. But the truth is, if your heart can't pump properly, even getting dressed or walking to the kitchen can feel like a marathon. And here's the scary part. This symptom builds slowly. You might not even realize how much energy you've lost until you compare yourself to how you were a few months ago. If you're constantly dragging through the day, even after a full night's sleep, don't brush it off. That exhaustion might be your body's way of telling you it's not getting what it needs. And at the center of it all, a heart that's quietly struggling. 4. Leg pain, the discomfort you walk into without realizing. Your legs start aching halfway through a walk. Maybe it's a cramp in your calf, a heavy feeling in your thighs, or a burning tightness in your hips. You sit down, and just like that, it fades. But every time you move, it comes right back. That's not normal muscle soreness. That's a warning sign your arteries may be clogged. This condition is called claudication, and it's one of the key symptoms of peripheral artery disease, when plaque builds up in the arteries that supply your limbs. During movement, your leg muscles demand more oxygen-rich blood, but narrowed arteries can't deliver enough. The muscles cry out in pain, not because they're weak, but because they're starving. The location of the pain can even tell you where the problem is. Cramps in the calf often mean blockages lower down. Pain in the thighs or buttocks usually points to bigger arteries closer to your core. The danger? Many people brush this off as aging or poor circulation. They slow down, thinking it's just their body wearing out. But the truth is more serious. If your legs aren't getting enough blood, chances are your heart and brain aren't either. What starts as a limp could be the first sign of a much bigger problem. 5. Nausea and cold sweats. The heart's panic button. You feel queasy for no reason. Maybe you break into a cold sweat even though you're not hot, not moving, and definitely not stressed. It hits you out of nowhere and then disappears just as fast. Most people think food poisoning, anxiety, maybe low blood sugar. But these strange episodes might be something far more dangerous. Your heart crying out for help. When arteries become blocked, your heart can't get the oxygen it needs. That stress triggers your body's emergency system, the autonomic nervous system. It's the same system that kicks in when you're in danger, firing off adrenaline, speeding up your heart, and yes, causing cold sweats. At the same time, the body redirects blood away from your stomach and toward your brain and vital organs. Digestion slows down. You feel nauseous, dizzy, maybe even lightheaded. It's your body going into survival mode. What makes this symptom so tricky is how vague it is. People often ignore it or treat it like a minor inconvenience. But when it happens with other signs, like chest tightness, shortness of breath, or fatigue, it becomes deadly serious. If your body suddenly reacts like something is wrong, even when nothing obvious is happening, pay attention. It might be your heart sending out a silent SOS. 6. Heart palpitations, when your rhythm falls apart. That fluttering in your chest. The sudden thump. A racing heartbeat that comes out of nowhere and leaves you breathless. We've all felt our heart skip a beat now and then, but when it starts happening regularly or without any clear reason, it's time to ask why. Because sometimes palpitations are more than just stress or caffeine. They're a warning that your heart is fighting to function. When arteries are narrowed by plaque, the heart has to work harder just to pump blood through tight, restricted spaces. That extra strain throws off its rhythm. The result? Irregular beats, rapid pulses. The strange sensation that your heart is out of sync. This condition is often linked to ischemia, a lack of oxygen reaching the heart muscle. And when oxygen runs low, the electrical signals that keep your heart in rhythm can start to misfire. That's when things get dangerous, fast. What's worse, the palpitations can trigger a vicious cycle. You feel them, get anxious, and that stress dumps more adrenaline into your system, making the heart race even more. If your heart feels like it's skipping, pounding, or flipping in your chest, and especially if it happens with dizziness or chest pain, it's not something to brush off. It could be your heart losing control. 7. High blood pressure, the silent force behind the damage. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't make noise. You can't see it, and most of the time, you don't feel it. That's what makes high blood pressure so dangerous. It's called the silent killer for a reason, and when it's linked to clogged arteries, the threat becomes even more real. When plaque narrows your arteries, your heart has to push harder to move blood through tighter spaces. That added pressure builds up in your system, forcing the heart to work overtime. Over months or even years, this pressure thickens the heart muscle, damages blood vessel walls, and speeds up the formation of even more plaque. But here's the catch. You might never know it's happening. High blood pressure rarely causes symptoms until something goes wrong, like a heart attack, a stroke, or kidney failure. It's a slow burn, wearing down your body day by day. And the damage doesn't stop with your heart. Elevated pressure can lead to aneurysms, weak spots in blood vessels that can suddenly rupture. It can affect your vision, your brain, and your memory. That's why regular checks matter. Knowing your numbers is one of the few ways to stay ahead of the damage, because by the time you feel high blood pressure, it may already be too late. If this video helped you recognize something in your own body or someone you care about, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, spread awareness, and most importantly, subscribe, because we're here to help you take control of your health, one video at a time. Your heart is worth protecting. Start today. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe. It's free and it could save your life or someone else's. Don't miss what your body's trying to tell you.